Hello, beautiful community. This is a special episode because today I get to interview Jojo, a beautiful, beautiful human being who has been very vocal to sharing her story. And we also blended that with EFT tapping. So you see how tapping can work in real life. So this is kind of like a half interview, half practice section. I wanted to cut to a shorter episode, but I eventually just decided to keep basically the whole thing in so that you can learn about JoJo's story through her own words. And I kept, mostly everything in. So into the details of her being cheated on by her ex-husband, navigating divorce, raising children as a single mom, moving countries, starting over, building her own business, and everything in between. And of course, not just the things, the events that happened, right? But also the emotional impact of that and how she wanted to heal because of what she noticed her daughter was going through. And we also went through 2 rounds of tapping, navigating issues around self-trust, fear around men, having walls built understandably around her heart, and just everything in between. So I will leave you to tune into the episode and learn about her story. Maybe if you can relate to any part, maybe it is being cheated on, maybe it is rebuilding your life after navigating a big kind of life collapse. Maybe it is being a single mom, or maybe it's just going through it all while kind of needing to rely on your own strength and maybe something else. I believe that a lot of the emotional themes we go through are very universal, although the story is deeply personal and no two stories are identical. But I believe that when we can relate to one another through our vulnerability and the not just the big events of what happened, but also the nitty-gritty, the everyday, how you feel, how you don't know how to feel, leaning into support, but also not knowing how to lean onto support, and everything in between, we'll find that we have a lot more similarities as human beings than we do differences. So, yeah, without further ado, I just hope that you enjoy this episode and also get to see how EFT tapping works in real time. And I will link all of JoJo's social medias and how to contact her in the description box. All right, enjoy. All right. So before we start, I just wanted to take a quick moment to ground with you. Okay. I probably won't show this portion. This is for us.
I need grounding.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and just close down your eyes. Starting to remove the louder noises and voices that's usually in your life, in your day-to-day, in your reality, and take a few moments to settle into the subtleties that you can sense in this moment. In your mind or your heart, you can consent to allowing your usual reality, your usual to-do list, things that you generally need to worry and think about, just packing them up. You can maybe imagine leaving them outside the door or all the way at the back of your mind, and closing the door, or any other ways that you like to visualize. And for this moment, allowing the essence of JoJo, who you are, that's not in relation to your story, not in relation to your relationship with anyone, experience, your status of things, whatever that is, the essence of JoJo slowly coming up, becoming more and more present with every breath, and keeping this connection with yourself. You can slowly blink your eyes open. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling good.
Feeling good, yeah. Did anything come up?
Just relaxing and taking a pause from the busyness of life, yeah.
Yeah, I had a sense that just as we were closing down our eyes, you could tell me if it feels true that there are pockets of times when kind of JoJo just comes in, but there are also a lot of times when your identity needs to be tied into
different things and taking care of different things. And yeah, like I had that sense that came up, and as well as a little bit of shielding, not like a thick wall, but a little bit of like, I need to, did that feel true?
Yeah, when you said the part of like melting the walls around the heart, I was like, oh yes, there are, and okay, I'm gonna like melt them and like, all that. But I didn't even notice those walls until you mentioned, and then
Okay. Yeah. And then it kind of felt like a learned mechanism. It felt like if you had it your way, you would want to live, like meet every day with a very open heart kind of vibe.
Yes, I feel like that's something I want, but hard to do. I have like a knee-jerk reaction to kind of pull back or like shield. It's something I'm working on.
Not that it's necessarily a bad thing, right?
Yeah, but it's built more and more as I've gotten older, I think, and through life experiences. But I think my natural state is like actually very open and all that. And I have that desire to go back like closer to that, like more authentic version of myself. But just gotta like work on bringing down those walls.
Yeah. Maybe that theme's going to come back. And before we get into that, just like to ask you if you'd like to share a little bit about just where your life is at these days, and how are you feeling right now? Anything that feels present, just trusting that, we have set the energy to be like, this is about your healing and your space. So anything that's coming through or meant to come through. So I'll let you have the floor.
Thanks. So when I first met you, I think, was that in October?
December. Oh yeah, maybe like end of the year. Can't remember for sure.
It was before November for sure, because I was still in like a low vibrations. But I had moved to Hong Kong like less than a year at that time. And my friend brought me to your circle, thinking it would be really good for me. And it was. At the time, I was still, so maybe a little bit of background. I got divorced in California and then moved abroad to Hong Kong with my 2 kids. And I had been in survival mode for over 2 years, 2.5 years at that point. And it was the hardest time of my life. Like I've never gone through anything so tough. Mental health issues, just a lot of surviving and, being responsible for 2 kids as well. So when I had moved to Hong Kong, I was still it was like, at least I was safe. I didn't feel like I was in danger anymore. And danger as in like surviving, right? Like betrayal trauma, it puts you in a state of danger because you don't feel safe anymore. So when I left and moved to Hong Kong and had the help of my parents and support system with friends and everyone, that helped me feel a little more safe, but I was still in survival mode for a long time. So when I went to your circle at the time, I was still kind of I feel like the way to describe it is like a scared stray dog in a big, scary world. And so it was nice to be in that circle of healing. And one of the issues we addressed was my fear of men. And I think that a lot of women who have been through betrayal trauma, and especially, it's horrible for anybody, but especially if it was with your husband and the father of your children, it's like your whole safety is just gone and you don't know who that person is. It really felt like you married and had kids with like a murderer. Like it's like, who are you? I can't believe you lived like this secret life this whole time. Like nothing was real. And so I was in a pretty rough shape back then. But oddly enough, November came around and I always, like, I just think of it as like the month of me where the energy shifted after like almost 3 years of intense suffering and not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and just like nonstop. 3 years feels like a long time, like when you're that in such a bad shape. And in November, kind of the energy, I just felt like an energy shift and more support from the universe.
Yeah.
This is going to be a funny story. I'm just going to go off on tangents.
Yeah, go on.
But the first thing that happened was my friend invited me. She said Steve Aoki was coming to Hong Kong. And in my 20s, I had like this silly dream of wanting to get caked by Steve Aoki.
Okay.
And so I was like, you know what? Like, I'm going to do it. This is something that I want to do for myself. You know, it's like, to me, it represented something. Like, it's never too late to live out your dreams, even though it's like super silly. So I went, and I remember going there, and I honestly was still really sad. But, you know, throughout the night, I just like enjoyed myself and had so much fun. And then I got caked. And I was like, this is validation from the universe. You know, I needed any sort of validation because I just had so much shit for so long. You know, and then after that, I went on a breathwork retreat and ended up just like laughing and being a kid and I haven't done that in so long because I had to be the responsible parent, getting through, you know, a divorce, negotiating through the terms, moving abroad, you know, all these big, heavy responsibilities. So to have that break to just be a kid was great. And then I ended up going to LA to see my cousins, and they're the ones that really bring out the kid in me. And so I basically had a month of just like being a kid again, and I feel like I found my spark. And that was just, you know, 5-6 months ago.
Wow.
So I'm kind of new on this healing journey, and it was a struggle bus for a long time, but once the energy picked up, it's really, I've started seeing the results of my healing. And so that's kind of what I want to share too, is that like, even though things might suck for somebody for a long time, like just hang in there, because when the energy shifts, it, you know, things will get better.
Yeah. Wow. I love that story. And it's almost like without this, which is one of the biggest pain of your life, without that collapsing, it's almost like life wouldn't have guided you to all these opportunities where you get to connect with a different side of you. Like if life had just like kept going and going that way, this whole world wouldn't have been possible. You wouldn't have suddenly seeked out, oh, let me just connect with.
Yeah, no way. Because I used to think this stuff is woo-woo. Like I couldn't sit to meditate if my life depended on it. Like I found breath work and meditation so boring. And so it's crazy that I'm like so into it right now. I had a mortgage, a really good corporate job, like, you know, family. Like I was on that one track path towards a white picket fence life. And there would have been nothing to throw me off of that. You know, I was married, like we're gonna like grow old together. You know, we like have a mortgage in our forever home. You know, I was going to raise my kids there. My kids went to the same school I went to. Like, you know, it's like
the perfect life.
Yeah. I dreamed of my whole life, and that I worked so hard for, you know, with my partner. And so for all of that to crumble, like it really took all of that to just like a nuclear bomb to just like explode and, you know, destroy everything for me to be like, okay, what am I now? You know, my identity, what do people identify themselves with? Usually it's with their job, their relationship status, the country they live in, you know, all that was gone for me. And so I kind of had to be in that liminal space for a while to be like, who am I? I don't know who I am. I feel very uncomfortable. I feel very lost. I was grasping at anything that was familiar to me, but there was just so little left.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard when I left my job and everything. And that was around the time I went to the circle where I was just crying. If anyone talked to me and asked me how I was, I would cry. For a few years, that was the state that I was in.
Okay. Well, first of all, you said that you were in really bad shape, and I completely did not. Like, I remember what I remember was like you felt really open. You felt vulnerable, but not in I'll close myself off of the world way.
Yeah.
Like you still felt soft, and it felt like something was emerging from you. You felt like, I know, you know, looking back, you were like, that was like really bad shape. You felt like light.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. And I think that was your essence. So yeah, I wouldn't have like known that it was kind of like the beginning of your journey as you navigate this great pain in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that just from what you've shared, you were able to, through your own strength, really alchemize that into something that is your strength now. But I'm sure there's also a lot of things inside, you know, that you're still continuing to work with. And you mentioned betrayal. You mentioned relationship with men. Yeah. Are those like some of the themes that are still present with you now?
Absolutely. I think a lot of women who've gone through betrayal trauma, like the biggest things that take the longest to heal from is your lack of trust. You've lost your sense of trust with yourself and the world and men. And for many years, even at your circles, which is just like a few months ago, like I hated men. I like just wanted to get away, like stay away, keep a distance. I was like repelled by them. And I brought that up at the circle as well. I felt like it was just trouble and danger, and I never felt safe. You know, actually, I couldn't give men eye contact, you know, and all of those little things. But I started to notice that my daughter would start saying that she doesn't like boys. And yeah. And I realized, you know, so actually my children are the ones that kind of made me realize that I should go on my healing journey, because I realized I was passing things to them. And the more I healed, the better they were doing. And they're the motivation for my healing. I was actually talking to my friend Annie about this, and it was crazy because we're like, our daughters, our children are what reminded us to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to sacrificing ourselves and prioritizing our families. But, you know, we realized actually we're modeling that for our daughters. And we're also, if we're not doing well, we're passing that to our daughters. And so when I started hearing my daughter and her relationship with boys and men, and she feels more comfortable with women, and I just noticed that. And so I was like, okay, well, that's not really healthy either.
Right.
And so I started being a little more aware that I should probably develop a healthier relationship with men, as uncomfortable as it is, because I honestly would feel just so comfortable, like in my own,
in a women's circle every day. Like,
I just
like,
love
there's
women.
no need.
It feels so much safer and everything. So I started being a little more open to that. And I was lucky enough to, on my healing journey, to meet some really grounded, good people. And I went on a breathwork retreat and was forced to do the eye gazing exercise. And then kind of just
intense.
Yeah. And I was crying a lot. And I was able to see the humanity of, men as well. And kind of overcome that fear. And then realize that, you can have a healthier relationship with men, and they don't have to be so scary.
Okay, so you're like in the beginning of that healing process. That's so true what you mentioned about children. And it's like, even if you consciously, because we all know the concepts of like, you want to heal, be the generational cycle breaker so you don't pass on the stuff that you don't want onto your children. The thing is, like, even if we're conscious of it, and even if you don't talk about, your fear of men or your hatred of men, like in front of them, children are so intuitive that they pick up on every little thing in your field.
Yes.
Like they even sense how you interact with the postman or whatever. And it's like, oh, mommy doesn't like. So that's so true. And I'm sure, you don't talk about all this with your children, but it seems like your daughter is like wonderfully, intuitively picked up on what mommy's going through as well. And
yeah, you can't bullshit them. She's a Scorpio too.
oh
so
my
she's
God.
very,
It's like she sees right
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
She's like probably mapping out the energetic dynamic in her head.
She's very intuitive and aware. Yeah. Back then when we were going through my divorce and the cheating and everything, she could sense everything. And she's actually, my eldest one was the reason why I realized I had to get a divorce.
Okay.
Because I couldn't be this shell of a human, of a mom for them. Like, I just knew my children deserved better. And she could sense everything. Like, anybody around us could see that my daughter was getting affected. She was so connected with me.
Right.
She was developing anxiety and just behavioral problems, and the poor relationship with men. And my children are the reasons why I divorced so quickly. I came to that conclusion so quickly, and that I've invested in my healing journey wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's do this for your daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. So for today, if there's like one or maybe two themes that you feel like, okay, I've been sitting with this a lot and I really want to, talk to someone about it, work on, even just getting closer to the feeling so we can kind of feel it to heal it. Like, would that be betrayal? Would that be a relationship with men or something else? Feel free to also just take a moment and breathe with your heart.
I think it would be like, I have this problem with, I guess it would be like trust. And I have this problem with not wanting to, but tending to do everything myself and not letting people help me because I've been in survival mode for so long. I've been like, the primary caretaker, like, just the one responsible for so much. And it's so heavy. And I feel like I would love to learn to let go a little more and to receive more easily. Yeah. Okay. Like, I'll give you an example. I remember like going on a hike and, sorry, I'm like,
I know. we don't have to sit like super like properly. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Like going on a hike and people will like offer to help you cross like rocks and stuff. Right. Mm. And I would just be like, no, it's okay. Like, little things like that. And I was
falling off the cliff. I'm okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then even with like work, just allowing people to help me and being more open instead of just always shutting like those walls.
Yeah. Two questions is, do you feel like it's always been like this or since that betrayal wound? And also you mentioned survival mode. If you could just tell me a little bit more about like what that was like for you and what it means for you.
I think definitely after the betrayal, walls went up a lot. And especially with my marriage, I was responsible for a lot. And so it kind of put me in that state. And I've been stuck in that state for a while. But there was always a sense of me doing everything too as an only child.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like kind of since your whole life, there's a little bit of that. And then it just kind of got intensified. And then this was like, would you say it kind of just cemented that belief? Like, see, I have to do everything on my own.
Yes.
I can only trust myself. And that kind of translate into I need to do everything by myself.
Yes.
Okay. And then you mentioned the survival mode. That would be after the betrayal wound.
Yes.
Yeah. And how did it look like? How did it feel like?
Awful. Because, when I got divorced, I had, we had a mortgage, everything. So like I had $20K in my bank account, which with 2 kids doesn't feel like much. And I didn't know. Nobody knows how the divorce is going to end, like how the cards are going to land. And, just going through, everyone that has to go through a divorce, there's always a risk of like not knowing what you're going to end up with and how you're going to provide for your kids. Right. So to go through that long divorce process of, terms, negotiation, back and forth, threats of litigation. Like, it's scary. It's scary, especially because, you know, you feel like David and Goliath. Like, you're up against, you know, so much. And also with the betrayal, you know, there was a lot of trauma with that too, because it's a shock to the system. And then you're just discovering, it never comes out all at once. It's always like trickle effect.
Yeah.
And then you're just like being re-traumatized over and over again. And that puts you in a state of survival mode. And then when I moved, you know, to the other side of the world, you know, I was actually working night shifts for 7 months and being a mom, you know, so I was exhausted and, you know, just trying to get my kids into school, you know, get all the legal documents set up and everything, manage accounts in the US and in Hong Kong, and like just like so many things, you know. So that was also like a form of survival mode. So it was just like nonstop, like one thing after another after another. It was like the betrayal and then the divorce and then selling our house, selling everything, moving abroad, getting everybody settled. It was like nonstop. But once everybody was settled, and I had told myself like over 2 years ago that one day, I remember like crying in the car, just like screaming and crying in the car, letting it all out and being like, one day I'm going to go to like a yoga retreat somewhere. I didn't know it would be Bali at the time, but I was like, I will be away and like, it'll be just like a solo trip. Because I hadn't been alone for years. Like I had been breastfeeding my kids. I'd never left their side for like more than 2-3 hours, you know? Like, so I hadn't been, I've always had to be there for my kids and my family and work. A lot of surviving.
Yeah, so it's like the healing, obviously the wound that's just, you know, coming at you, and then the healing that's needed. And it sounds like it's because you were going through a lot of unknown as well. The moving was unknown, how your kids are going to be is unknown, how the divorce is going to, and the more unknown we have in our life, the more the mind want to rationalize and protect, and the more the survival kind of fight flight just comes in.
Yeah, I was in constant state of fight or flight.
Right.
And I couldn't stop my brain. Like you mentioned, like it just doesn't stop. I couldn't sleep. Like I hadn't slept. It felt like years, like every night. Like I just didn't have good sleep. My mind was just running. My eyes were wide open. Just like, how do I get out of this situation? How do I figure out a way out? How do I take care of my kids? It's just like nonstop. It was exhausting.
Wow.
I don't know how a person can go through so much, so long without sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now, if you just put like a hand on your heart and you just like breathe into it, what feels the most present right now that you like support on?
I feel like when I talk about this and like when I get triggered, I get this like nervousness, like shakiness, that still is in my body.
Okay. I feel like we could do a round of tapping, and then I feel like the nervousness is going to guide it to something more. But we could do like a quick round of tapping on the nervousness. So for the tapping, I'll guide you through the points. I'll cue you verbally as well, or you can just open your eyes. I'll be tapping with you, and then I'll say something. You can repeat after me. If there's anything I say that don't feel true, feel free to change the word so that they feel super true to you. You can add things as well, take away stuff. And energy will be moving, so you might want to yawn, burp, anything like that. Maybe a part of the body suddenly wants to move, sigh. That's all normal. Okay. So let's go ahead and tap on the side of the hand. Actually, before this, just on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense you feel the nervousness, 0 being 0, what would you say it would be if you talk about this?
7.
7, okay. All right, let's tap. Okay, you can close your eyes down if you'd like. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh out. You can repeat after me, even though I feel all this nervousness.
Even though I feel all this nervousness.
Whenever I recall this trauma in my life.
Whenever I recall this trauma in my life.
The betrayal, the mistrust.
the betrayal, the mistrust,
the survival mode that I was on for years,
the survival mode that I was
in for years,
all
this nervousness, even though my body feels so uneasy,
even though my body feels so uneasy
and so uncomfortable at times,
I choose to deeply and completely
love, accept, and honor myself. Okay, tapping with one hand on the top of your head. All this nervousness I feel in my body. Tapping on your eyebrow point, either hand. Both hands work as well. All this nervousness. Whenever I tell my story, even though it feels like a million years away.
even if it feels like a million years away.
And I'm a new Jojo now. Living in a new city. Tapping on the side of the eye. Whenever I tell my story, I still feel this nervousness. Tapping underneath the eye. This nervousness in my body. And just no need to repeat after me, but take a deep breath in. Big sigh out. Tapping underneath the nose. Once again, deep breath in. Big sigh out. As you tap underneath your mouth, I want you to imagine yourself telling the story again. Okay? Or you can think about all the times that you've told your story, whether that be recording a video or telling a friend. I want you to notice what you sense in the body and just take note of that. Okay. And then tapping with both hands underneath your collarbones. I want you to drop into your body and notice where that nervousness lives. And when you can locate it, just let me know.
Like the chest area.
Okay. If you could give it any more information like temperature or even size or shape, you can let me know what you see or sense.
Feels like nervous energy just like vibrating along this
chest area.
Yeah.
All right. Tapping underneath your rib cage with both hands. Okay, I want you to breathe into the chest area. Maybe you feel this energy that's vibrating. And if you could just ask this part of your body, why are you here? What are you trying to tell me? And let me know if there's an answer.
It feels like it's an alarm system to like let me know that there's danger.
Okay, tapping underneath your armpit, either side. Okay, and what would this danger be about? What feels dangerous to your system?
Just that I'm not safe. I don't have anyone safe around me.
Okay, tapping on your wrist. Okay, and then you can imagine you keep talking and just communicating with this part. You're like, okay, I understand you're here to protect me because I don't feel safe. A part of me doesn't feel safe. And you can ask it, so why are you only appearing when I share my story? When I speak about this past, and see what comes up.
Because this was a time when it wasn't safe, when, my world imploded and the person that I was supposed to trust wholeheartedly became the most dangerous person.
Okay, tapping on top of the wrist. Yep, I'd like you to repeat that one more time. It felt really unsafe. You can repeat after me.
It felt really unsafe.
When the person I trusted the most.
When the person I trusted the most.
Became the most dangerous to my nervous system.
Became the most dangerous to my nervous system.
Okay, breathing into that. And you can repeat after me, even though I don't want it to be like this.
Even though I don't want it to be like this.
My body has registered this person that I trusted the most.
My body has registered this person that I trusted the most.
To be one of the most dangerous things to me right now.
To be one of the most dangerous things to me right now.
Tapping on top of the head again. Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why.
Whenever I recall this memory.
Whenever I recall this memory.
With this person inside it.
What was that?
With this person inside it.
With this person inside it.
My body immediately senses danger.
My body immediately senses danger.
Maybe even thinking about this part of my life.
Maybe even just thinking about this part of my life.
Is signaling danger to my body.
Is signaling danger to my body.
Okay, tapping on your eyebrow point again, just the beginning of the eyebrow point. Yep. A little bit more to the left.
Thanks.
Keep breathing and repeat after me. Maybe even just thinking about him signals danger to my body.
Maybe even just thinking about him signals danger in my body.
Tapping on the side of the eye. Feel free to switch up the wording if you like. You can say, if I'm being honest.
If I'm being honest.
Even though I'm already on my healing journey.
Even though I'm already on my healing journey.
It still feels really hard to let myself completely feel what I feel.
It still feels really hard to let myself completely feel how I feel.
It still feels really hard to completely be with my past.
It still feels completely hard to completely be with my past.
Tapping underneath the eye. Okay, and keep breathing into the center of your chest. And now I just want, you don't need to repeat after me, but as you breathe and tap, it's almost like you're talking to your body. You're not asking that nervousness to go away, but I want you to breathe in acknowledgement, a sense of, okay, I understand why you're here now. Okay, tapping underneath the nose. Just breathing into the understanding, okay, it's because my body's associated this past as danger, this person as danger. So whenever you talk about this, the body wants to be on high alert. All right.
Something that came up is like, it just reinforces that message that like, people can't be trusted.
Okay, tapping underneath the mouth. What is reinforcing that people can't be trusted? You talking about it?
Yeah, that whole story, what happened to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So every time you talk about your story, like a belief is being cemented almost. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's breathe into that and tapping both hands underneath the collarbones. This is really hard.
This is really hard.
Because a part of me wants to share my story.
Because a part of me really wants to share my story.
Because I feel like it empowers myself and other people.
Because I feel like it empowers myself and others.
It feels like I'm giving myself a voice again.
It feels like I'm giving myself a voice again.
And it's helping me make sense of my healing.
And it's helping me make sense of my healing.
Tapping underneath the ribs with both hands. But I'm also open to the perspective.
But I'm also open to the perspective.
That the more I repeat my story.
That the more I repeat my story.
The more I reinforce this story.
The more I reinforce the story.
The more I cement this belief in me.
The more I cement this belief in me.
All right, tapping on the side of the body. And feel free to just voice out what some of these beliefs are. You already mentioned one, that people can't be trusted. So you can just keep going, like the belief that people can't be trusted, the belief that so and so on.
The belief that people can't be trusted. Mm-hmm. The belief that I can never trust someone again. The belief that I am alone in this world to face this world. The belief that I can never have a partner that I can trust. The belief that I have to raise my kids on my own without a secure, protective partner by my side.
All right. You can tap on your wrist. If there's more, feel free to voice them out. If not, just take a deep breath. All these beliefs. You can repeat after me. All these beliefs.
All these beliefs.
I'm allowing them to be released from my reality now.
I'm allowing them to be released from my reality now.
Tapping on top of the wrist. And I understand they might not be able to be released in this instant.
And I understand they might not be able to be released in this instance.
But I'm open to me not holding on to them.
But I'm open to me not holding on to them.
Not as tightly as I used to anyways.
Not as tightly as I used to anyways.
Mm-hmm. Tapping on top of the head. These beliefs served me at some point.
These beliefs served me at one point.
Especially when I was trying to make sense of my story.
Especially as I was trying to make sense of my story.
But I'm open to healing in a different way now.
But I'm open to healing in a different way now.
I'm open to meeting myself anew every single day.
I'm open to meeting myself
anew every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Tapping on the eyebrow point. I'm allowing myself to believe that.
I'm allowing myself to believe that.
I can still heal from this story.
I can still heal from this story.
And this precious experience.
Without
needing it to define me forever. Tapping on the side of the eye. My story is ever evolving.
My
learnings are ever evolving. And that's okay too. I've grown from this experience. And I'm allowing this story to shift. To the best of... Hold on. Tapping underneath the eye. For my best and highest good. And the best and highest good of all involved. Okay, tapping underneath the nose and just breathe into and check if there's any resistance to this. And you can let me know. Maybe it's a yes, maybe it's a no.
No, I'm good.
All right, tapping underneath the mouth. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh out. Okay, keep your eyes closed, just pausing with the tapping. And slowly tuning into this nervousness or the energy of it, if you can access it right now, and just notice how present does it feel on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'd say like a 2 to 3.
Wonderful. Okay, slowly open up your eyes. Yeah. Do you want to share what came up for you? How do you feel right now? Anything at all? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I've been exploring different healing modalities, and I feel like a theme that comes up is, I always feel like I'm on my own, and, the pain of betrayal trauma underneath that is really that painful message that the fairy tale that I want is not possible for me. And so I think that's the underlying wound.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting to come up, It's what happened. There's many reasons why it sucks, but the underlying reason as well for why it sucks, the bigger symbolism for it is just that, you know, my fairy tale story is like out of reach, you know?
Yeah. Just continue to allow the tear to fall and breathe.
This is my first time crying in front of the camera.
First for everything.
Yeah.
See, there's tissue paper. I don't see it.
It's okay.
Okay, yeah, it's okay. We're in team feeling.
Yeah.
We're just gonna let it fall. The best I can offer you right now is some Palo Santo.
Yay, thanks.
Okay. I'm gonna let Palo Santo ground as a little. But yeah. Okay, so tell me more about this feeling of the fairy tale, the life that you thought was yours.
I don't.
Feels like what's underneath, right? That's the
Yeah. I don't know if this is like an only child thing for you too, but like I always felt like my life didn't begin until, you know, I met somebody and my family. And I'll be honest, like my 20s, I just felt like I like was forced to be in my 20s to party and go do all that. But really I was just looking forward to having a family and meeting my person. And I feel like I worked so hard to try to have that for myself. You know, my friends know me, like every boyfriend I had, I thought I was going to marry. And when it doesn't work out, you know, it kind of reinforced that underlying wound or message. And then, you know, before I met my ex, I had a heartbreak. And then I told myself, like, I would pick someone very intentionally who would be able to give me that dream. And so when I met my ex, who seemed like the most loyal person who wanted a family, I thought, this is what you're supposed to pick, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to pick someone that's, you know, wants a family, that's reliable, whatever, you know? And it's crazy because everyone thought he was like that, and I thought so too. So to have that, have him be a serial cheater, I was just so shocked. And that's kind of what made me turn to more wanting to heal like my subconscious and look deeper.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's a pattern going on here. There's something going on here because the same kind of things are happening to me. Even if I tried like in my conscious brain to pick differently, something is happening subconsciously.
The pattern being
cheated on.
Okay, so it has happened even before.
My batting range of cheaters is like pretty high, I think. So
wow.
yeah.
Okay. Every time, because you mentioned you had this betrayal, you know, being cheated on before.
Yeah.
And every time that happens, what do you feel like that reinforce for you? What belief about yourself or about men or about the world?
It's super disappointing because they always feel really sorry after.
Okay.
And I always felt like I'm like a lesson for them. You know, it's like, okay, they're so sorry, and then they learn this lesson, and then but I don't want to be the lesson. I want to be, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think it reinforces, like, I know I am like delivering and living, you know, my part of the deal. You know what I mean? Like, I just need that person to be on the same page or be at my level.
Okay, yeah, this is really interesting because it seems like, you know, almost like in your 20s or, you know, before everything happens, it's like, yeah, the men or the relationship will be the kind of answer to, you know, the life that I want. And then now on the other side, like all the way on the opposite side of the pendulum, it's like this mistrust in men, this fear. That's just interesting to note. And you mentioned this has also come up as a theme in your different healing sections or modalities.
That I like can't trust anybody or I'm doing it alone. One thing that I feel like I'm trying to embody more of is to look towards myself instead of looking towards someone else, you know, and I'm getting more comfortable with that. Like I do feel very comfortable now more and more as a single mom. You know, at first it felt very sad. I felt very sad for myself, you know, because there are hard days and hard nights without having a partner at home raising kids, especially when they're young. But now that I've gotten better in my healing, I'm more healed and I have developed a routine and more support. You know, so I'm starting to learn to like pour into myself and rely on myself and, you know, spirituality and everything to fulfill myself. Yeah.
Do you want to do a little bit of tapping on that self-trust?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see, also similar to the last round, we'll see what comes up and then we'll tap a little bit more on that. Yeah. You mentioned subconscious and yeah, tapping is a good way. I'm not sure if you felt it in the first round. It's like the more you tap, because you're calming the system, the more you feel safe. And then it's like little nuggets of insights will come up.
Yeah.
So whenever you have like things popping in, if you want to pause and just let me know, you can just interrupt me at any time.
Okay.
And just let me know like, oh, this is coming up. And I can shift direction as well.
Okay.
Okay. So same thing on a scale of 0 to 10. The scale is self-trust. So 10 is like, I can completely trust myself. I got me. 0 is the opposite of it. Where would you say? Right now or generally?
Yeah, this is another thing that I think women who've experienced betrayal trauma struggle with the most, because my self-trust was shot to negative. Yeah.
Beyond the scale.
Yeah. Like I cannot trust myself at all. Like what the hell am I doing? Like who am I picking? Like God.
Right.
I think I've started looking back on what happened to see like actually there were red flags that I accepted, and there were also things that my body knew.
And it's also like a trained muscle that can be trained. It's like, because the body is always throwing out signal, relationship or work or even health. It's just like we've not been taught how to pick up on those signals, or even worse, when we do eventually pick up on those signals, then society has a way to override our own intuition. Like, no, you just da 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 da.
Yeah.
So it's like also beyond the noises and the conditioning. How do you learn to trust yourself
and your monkey brain? I've heard that you can practice like listening, tuning into your gut and your intuition. And that's one thing I really want to work on as part of my healing journey, because my nervous system was a wreck. Like I felt like I couldn't trust myself. Like I couldn't trust what people were telling me, because also part of betrayal trauma is you're being gaslit a lot.
Right.
You know, you don't know what's real anymore. Everything was a lie. And then as you are trying to navigate that with your betrayal partner person, there's also a lot of gaslighting, denial. They're confused. The facts that they're spitting out doesn't match up as what they said like a week ago, and you're the one putting the pieces together.
You're like, am I remembering it wrongly?
Yeah, there's a lot of denial, everything. So it's like a mess, huge mess. Wow. So there's no trust in anybody, including yourself. So yeah, the self-trust thing was negative. I think as I've done healing, and I've given my body more credit, because I notice now looking in hindsight that my body did give me signals, but I just didn't know how to listen to it. Oh, I was just telling somebody the other day, a breathwork coach that taught me, you know, like how to tune into my body. And then a memory came up where it was like, when did your body, like you can ask your body, what does like a full yes feel like, and like what does like
I was
a no?
just about to tell you that would be a nice, like the practice just came up, like the yes and no practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You close your eyes and you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So no one had so when I first heard that, I tried it, and then a memory came up, which when I did the no, and it was literally the night of my wedding, I felt my body like there was a no.
Wow.
But like it was the wedding night, you know, like you just brush it aside and you keep going because you're just on autopilot.
Yeah.
And I never paid attention to that until I did the listening to your body thing. And then that came up and I was like, I did feel it.
Wow.
You know?
I'm getting goosebumps. Okay.
And now when I have done the healing work and I know to like listen to this stuff, because before I would think this is just like woo-woo, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And now that I've done this healing work and I'm more I look back on my memories and life and I'm like, there are moments where my body was telling me something. Wow. My intuition was telling something, but I just didn't know how to listen to it. Mm-hmm. And so I guess instead of a negative now, I'm more at like a 2.
Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, so a 2.
Yeah. All right, let's tap on that. Tapping on the side of the hand. All right, repeat after me. Even though I don't have the best relationship with my self-trust.
Even though I don't have the best relationship with my self-trust.
I choose to deeply and completely.
I choose to deeply and completely.
Love, accept, and forgive myself.
Love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though it's not always easy to trust myself.
Even though it's not always easy to trust myself.
Sometimes it's really, really hard to trust myself.
Sometimes it's really, really hard to trust myself.
For various reasons.
For various reasons.
I still choose to love, accept, and forgive myself.
I still choose to love, forgive, and accept myself.
Tapping on top of the head. All these issues with self-trust.
All these issues with self-trust.
This inability to fully trust myself.
This inability to fully trust myself.
Tapping on the eyebrow point. It's been really hard to fully trust myself.
It's been really hard to fully trust myself.
Especially when it comes to intimacy.
Especially when it comes to intimacy.
When it comes to moments where I have to be vulnerable.
When it comes to moments where I have to be vulnerable.
Tapping on the side of the eye. Some moments, it's really easy for me to trust myself.
Some moments it's really easy for me to trust myself.
Okay, and then now in your mind's eye, I want you to just go through those moments when it's really easy. Maybe it's like picking what to eat or picking what to wear. And I want you to feel how it feels in the body. Maybe it's nothing at all. It's just like a sense of, okay, natural. And then right now, tapping underneath the eyes. You repeat after me. Sometimes it's really hard to trust myself.
Sometimes it's really hard to trust myself.
Okay, and then right now, you can play back all the memories where big or small moments when you want to decide on something and then you're like, oh but which is the right decision? Mm-hmm. Tapping underneath the nose. First, I want you to feel into the body, what it feels like. Maybe there's a certain part that's lighting up or feel tense or something else. And you can let me know what you sense.
It feels like a soreness in the heart.
Okay, tapping underneath the mouth. And can you also tell me what some of these moments are? Just 1 or 2 examples.
Just being wrong about people or reading situations wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so these harder moments are usually in relation, like when someone else is involved, right? Yeah. It's like the easier decisions are when it's just for yourself.
Oh yeah, if it's myself, like I'm so confident.
And then it's like whenever it's like someone else is involved, whether you want to trust them, connection, then that's like, okay, can I really trust my judgment?
Yes.
Okay, tapping underneath the collarbones. It's been really hard to trust my judgment.
It's been really hard to trust my judgment.
Especially when reality has shown me.
Especially when reality has shown me.
That I had been wrong so many times.
That I had been wrong so many times.
And those decisions to trust the wrong people.
And those decisions to trust the wrong people.
Also came with a consequence.
Also came with consequences.
Tapping underneath the rib cage. So it makes sense that I'm so fearful.
So it makes sense that I'm so fearful.
And so afraid to trust myself.
And so afraid to trust myself.
Tapping on the side of the body. Okay, this makes a lot of sense.
And this makes a lot of sense.
And I can understand it now.
And I can understand it now.
Tapping on your wrist. But I choose to know.
But I choose to know
That we're all born with our intuition.
that we're all born with our intuition.
We're all connected to Source.
We're all connected to Source.
Tapping on top of the wrist. And in some ways, we as beings are all connected as well.
And in some ways, we as beings are all connected as well.
So in a deeper spiritual level, we all know each other.
So in a deeper spiritual level, we all know each other.
Tapping on top of the head. So it's not that I don't have an intuition.
So it's not that I don't have an intuition.
Or I don't have good judgment.
Or I don't have good judgment.
It's that some things are covering up my intuition.
It's that some things are covering up my intuition.
Okay, you can tap on the beginning of the eyebrow point and ask yourself, what are some of these things? And let me know what they are.
That's blocking my intuition.
Mm-hmm. It's like almost like the layers that's covering your intuition up, your self-judgment that's coming up.
Fear.
Fear, okay. And what is this fear about?
Getting close to people, trusting people, intimacy, connection. It's like safer to keep people at a distance. So sometimes I'm closed off or a little cold to the people I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tapping on the side of the eye. As you breathe, I want you to play back, especially one relationship that's really caused you to doubt yourself because you trusted them so much, and just hold this memory or this person in mind. And then tapping underneath your eye. And I want you to repeat after me. I really trusted this person.
I really trusted this person.
I trusted this person with all my life.
I trusted this person with all my life.
And that trust was betrayed.
And that trust was betrayed.
And I now have to live with the feelings of being betrayed.
And now I have to live with the feelings of being betrayed.
And that's something that's never going to leave me.
And that's something that's never going to leave me.
The hurt.
The hurt.
The fear.
The fear.
The disappointment.
The disappointment.
The worries.
The worries.
Tapping underneath the nose. No wonder it's so hard for me to trust again.
No wonder it's so hard for me to trust again.
Because it's affected my whole life.
Because it's affected my whole life.
And what I thought my life was going to turn out to be.
And what I thought my life would turn out to be.
A part of me has made this person responsible.
A part of me has made this person responsible.
Tapping underneath the mouth. But I also choose a different perspective.
But I also choose a different perspective.
Maybe it's not me.
Maybe it's not me.
It's their actions and their decisions.
It's their actions and their decisions.
And all I did was trust.
And all I did was trust.
I trusted and I loved.
I trusted and I loved.
And I shouldn't punish myself over that.
And I shouldn't punish myself over that.
Tapping underneath your collarbones. I allowed myself to love with an open heart.
I allow myself to love with an open heart.
To trust with an open heart.
To trust with an open heart.
Even though this person betrayed me.
Even though this person betrayed me.
I choose to not let that mean something bad about myself.
I choose to not let that mean something bad about myself.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with loving vulnerably.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with loving vulnerably.
In fact, that's one of the greatest gifts of being a woman.
In fact, that's one of the greatest gifts of being a woman.
To be a woman is to know love.
To be a woman is to know love.
Women are here to show the world how to love.
Women are here to show the world how to love.
Tapping with both hands underneath your rib cage. And I choose to know that they have hurt me.
And I choose to know that they have hurt me.
This person in particular.
This person in particular.
Because of their own misunderstanding.
Because of their own misunderstanding.
They thought they had to do what they did.
They thought they had to do what they did.
They thought they had the right to do what they did.
They thought they had the right to do what they did.
And maybe, just maybe, it has nothing to do with me.
And maybe it had nothing to do with me.
Tapping on the side of the body. And if I look back, there had been signs.
And if I look back, there had been signs.
I just didn't know how to read.
I just didn't know how to read them.
But that's also not my fault.
That's also not my fault.
No one's taught me how to read these signs.
Taught me how to read these signs.
Tapping on your wrist. It's not like in middle school we had a body yes, body no practice.
Yeah. It's not like in middle school we had a body yes, body no practice.
It would be nice if we had them.
It would be nice if we had them.
Like an intuition class.
Mm-hmm.
but that wasn't the case.
But that wasn't the case.
But you live and you learn.
But you live and you learn.
Tapping on top of the wrist. And right now I choose to be on this journey.
Or right now I choose to be on this journey.
To expand my capacity to learn, to love and to trust myself.
To expand my capacity to love
and to trust myself.
Love and accept myself.
Mm-hmm. Tapping on top
and trust myself.
Tapping on top of the head. Knowing that all these people that betrayed me.
Knowing that all these people that betrayed me.
It's because of their own misunderstandings.
It's because of their own misunderstandings.
Their own wounds and lessons.
Their own wounds and lessons.
That have nothing to do with me.
That has nothing to do with me.
Tapping on your eyebrow point. I love that I'm an open-hearted person.
I love that I'm an open-hearted person.
And the memory from my wedding night showed me.
And the memory from my wedding night showed me.
I'm innately intuitive.
I am innately intuitive.
I'm just now learning how to read them.
I'm just now learning how to read them.
And trust them again.
And trust them again.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Tapping on the side of the eye. I'm on a wonderful journey.
I'm on a wonderful journey.
And take a deep breath in. Deep sigh out. Tapping underneath the eye. It's safe for me to trust myself.
It's safe for me to trust myself.
I'm excited to continue discovering new things about myself.
I am excited to continue discovering new things about myself.
To continue to learn about myself.
To continue to learn about myself.
Tapping underneath the nose. I'm really excited about this new reality.
I'm really excited about this new reality.
I'm so excited how I'm going to be in 5-10 years' time.
I'm so excited about how I'm going to be in 5-10 years' time.
Tapping underneath the mouth. And it's safe for me to trust myself.
And it's safe for me to trust myself.
Every single time those doubts creep in.
Every single time those doubts creep in.
I'm going to remember this moment.
I'm going to remember it this moment.
Maybe I can tap on myself.
Maybe I can tap on myself.
And know that that's just a wired response.
And know that it's just a wired response.
It's not who I really am.
It's not who I really am.
Tapping with both hands underneath the collarbones. And in your mind's eye, just imagine this version of Jojo you know exists. Some people call it the higher self, or maybe a different timeline, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keep this version in mind, and I want you to breathe in a sense of this is who I am. Every single decision and experience in your life has just been leading you to her. And if you can, in your mind's eye, also begin to remove any cords that's expired, that links you to all these people that have betrayed you. Understanding that they have served their purpose, they've put you on the right path. Their story, this relationship, it's no longer needed. You're now on this path and continuing to breathe into a sense of this is who I am. As you tap, take deep breaths in, expanding your heart. Big sigh out whenever you're ready. Keep your eyes closed, pausing with the tapping. Just take a moment here to be with yourself. You feel into a number.
Yeah, crazy how much it's changed.
Really?
Yeah, I think like 7 to 8, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow, that's wonderful. And you feel lighter too.
Yeah.
Wow. It's like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to share like what you're feeling right now?
Yeah.
How's the tapping?
Just, the higher self really helps. Just the whole thing, working through all the emotions, all the doubts. It's like, I think it's a way of like getting through your emotions. Like, you know how they say you can't avoid them. So I feel like EFT, it's a way to process and go through the emotions. And so that's really healing. And then,
I know.
and then, all those prompts were super helpful. And then at the end, to end it with my higher self, she was just so reassuring, and tapping into that energy, it felt like she was less guarded than I am or was. So I was able to tap into that energy, but with more discernment. And your prompts of just all of cutting the cords of the people. And then that's what's leading you to your higher self. It made a lot of sense that, okay, now I'm this tapping into that energy of a deeper and more evolved person with discernment. That was just so helpful. And then afterwards I just felt, I can trust myself.
Yeah. It's like the most natural thing ever. It's not like we're finding our way to self-trust. It's just eliminating all the things that are not true anyways. And then now I'm sure that's what you feel. It's just natural. Duh.
Yeah. And letting go of the fear and all those things serving its purpose already and letting that go really helped.
Yeah. And was there anything that surprised you that came up, or different insights that you want to share? If there's nothing, it's fine. But
there was, and I forgot.
That's fine.
I remember thinking this is a good one. And then I forgot. I got carried away.
Yeah. It's going to come back if it's important. Okay. Wow. You look so you just this big smile on your face. I love it. I love seeing you like this. Yeah. That was really nice.
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah. Aw.
That's great.